What's up, VCs, founders, and the entrepreneurs? You've made it, and you're here. It's Venture Daily with me, Peter Saddington, your host. We're going to have a great show today, guys. I hope your Monday is awesome, and your week is getting sorted, and you're going to have a great week this week. I'm going to have a great week this week, by the way. Some quick notes about today's show. I'm going to be going over two articles. Now, you guys know how we usually go through one article in the beginning. In our second segment, we go over venture deals for the day. And then our final word is just a little bit about what's going on in my life. However, I have a second article that I've come across that I want to read during our third part today, and it'll be worthwhile. It'll be a great show. But, I've been spending a lot of time. And so here's the reason why, because both these articles have to do with Generation Z. And a lot of the things that Generation Z and the millennials really care about, and it's my last segment, and I'll just talk about it briefly, is about ensuring that you are continually learning. And this is one of those things that I want to make a big deal and want to remind the Generation Z and the millennials that, hey, in the future, your personal brand, your discipline to self-learning, self-education, and personal growth is going to be one of your biggest differentiators as you move up in the world, as you move up in the corporate experience, as you move up in just working and living. The systems of yesteryear, the old systems, right? Your LinkedIns, your Facebooks, and all of these centralized systems that kind of house your identity. They house your professional resume. They're not going to be worth as much as you, and here's the kicker, you controlling your own destiny, you controlling the narrative about who you are. So if you're a Generation Z or you're a millennial, which is a big chunk of my audience overseas are these individuals, you want to listen in. Because I promise you, if you continue to be a self-learner, you'll do just fine. You'll do just fine. So let's go into today's article. Let me bring it up here right quick. I should probably have had this earlier. Oops. Let's bring it up here. Today's article that I want to cover is called Chick-Fil-A's Secret Sauce to Attracting and Retaining Generation Z Workers. Now, if you're a venture capitalist out there, or even if you're a founder, but especially if you're a venture capitalist, there's a lot that we can learn and extract from these types of lessons because, and this is funny because I speak to so many VCs, is that we can't forget that the next generation of founders, the next generation of ideas, well, they're all like 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 years old right now. So we best make sure that we are changing and being amenable and open to change in appetites and needs of the younger generation. Speaking of appetites, let's get into it, guys. Chick-fil-A's secret sauce for attracting and retaining Generation Z workers. This is from Inc.com. So how do you attract and retain the ideal people for your organization? Be the organization the people you are looking for or are looking for. If you want people who are driven, trustworthy, and will go the extra mile, then first, exemplify it. If you want to attract and retain Generation Z in your organization, then you must be the organization they're looking for. This is a powerful early statement, my friends, especially for my audience out there that are venture capitalists. If you want driven, trustworthy, and founders, entrepreneurs that you can invest in, that are willing to go the extra mile, then you have to model it. You have to model it in your own venture fund. You have to go beyond. And this is a big call that I'm always telling VCs is go the extra mile. Be the better venture capital firm. Be a good example, and you will attract the right people. And people will say, well, we're trying. Well, actually, in many cases, many venture funds aren't doing the thing that they really should be doing. They should be marketing it. They should be talking about it more. They should be socializing it more. And so that's why I'm here to help socialize these ideas out to the younger generation, the next generation of entrepreneurs. So what is Generation Z looking for in an organization? Development is what he says here. Quote, opportunity for growth is the number one factor that Gen Z seeks in a role. Gen Zers are 2.5 times more likely to stay with their employer for 4 or more years if they feel their skills are fully utilized with challenging and meaningful work. And 61% of Gen Z feel more successful after they spent time learning, as well as more confident and less burned out. Professional development is the key to attracting, retaining, and engaging Generation Z. No one understands this better than Chick-Fil-A, where 70% of their restaurant workers are Gen Z. And if I can go even further, in the past, Chick-fil-A has been my client. And working in the internals, so I'm in Atlanta, and Chick-fil-A is in Atlanta, and working with the internals of Chick-fil-A, this is very true as well. They're all about professional development. They're all about ensuring that people within that company have great relationships that help with personal development. It's a very different culture. And I'll tell you, Chick-fil-A has got it going on. Here's a cha-ching. Here's a slow cha-ching for them guys. David Salyers, a former chief marketing officer at Chick-fil-A, recently shared with me during an interview how Chick-fil-A becomes an organization that Gen Zers are looking for. Quote, when I ask Chick-fil-A restaurant operators what business they are in, no one ever says a fast food restaurant, says Salyers. Instead, I hear responses like, quote, we are a leadership academy masquerading as a fast food restaurant. And that's powerful. Selling chicken sandwiches to fund the development of its employees is exactly the type of development-focused organization that Gen Z wants to be a part of. Development is not only what Gen Z craves in a role, but it also provides greater meaning to many managers and or operators. Managers are not only running a business that provides employment opportunities and delightfully serving customers, but they are preparing the next generation with the skills needed to meaningfully and effectively contribute to society. This approach to attracting and retaining Gen Z talent should be encouraging to organizations who think that their industry, quote, isn't sexy or they can't afford the work perks that they think Gen Z wants. The key is helping Gen Z develop the skills that prepare and sustain them for the uncertain future ahead. And that's the end of this short article. It's not too helpful in terms of specifics, but that's why I'm here. I'm going to tell you what the specifics are. You see, what this article asked for is, what are Gen Zs asking for? Development, personal development. Maybe we could go even as far as to say that they crave and desire the human touch. You see, maybe this is a function of the way that they're raised in this ever-present technology society where they have cell phones and computers at the ready, and they're constantly, quote-unquote, connected to each other online. However, this connection, as what many of you well know, this connection online isn't a real connection. It's just a digital connection. It's a digital apparition of who they are. It's a vapor of who they really are. And at the end of the day, as carbon-based life forms, we need physical touch. We need people around us. And we need people who will encourage us, inspire us to be better people. And obviously, if you're in a work setting, to do better work and to learn. You see, maybe there's just something about the Generation Z and the millennials in which maybe they're not the rambunctious, immature creatures and cretins that many of the boomers and the old generation look at them as. Maybe it's just because they haven't had the connection, the human connections that you and I have had growing up, being outside, playing outside, riding our bikes, skinning our knees and falling down wells. No, just kidding. I did have a friend fall down a well, though. But these are things of the past, right? And so if you're a company and you're looking to hire, and your demographic of hiring are millennials and Generation Z, maybe, just maybe, the management of your company need to be people who don't just push the product or the service or getting those deadlines met. Maybe when we're hiring, we should find people that are willing to invest in the younger generation, invest in who they are, so that they, therefore, can do a better job for us. Consider that, guys, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. True startup story, guys. You got it. Your company just got seed round financed. Congratulations. You're going to the moon. But now you have to scale. You found great talent out in California, New York, Georgia, and even Eastern Europe. So what communications platform will you be using to ensure your international team is always aligned? Well, the answer is easy. Slack.com for Teams. We've used Slack for all of our previous startups, and they've supported us in tremendous ways. And we want to give them a thanks today for supporting vchunting.com. Did you also know that Slack is a great tool for personal use? Yeah, I use my own personal Slack channel to drop in documents, notes, to-dos, and follow-ups to ensure that my workflow throughout the day is right on course. I promise you, if you try out slack.com for personal use, you'll end up using it for your team as well. Go to slack.com to check it out. Well, welcome back. Welcome back, my friends, to Venture Daily, the fastest growing daily show in all of venture media. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at AgilePeter. I'm always tweeting about where I'll be going and what I'll be doing. By the way, some of you guys saw maybe that last week I was out in Tucson in Arizona meeting up with one of my old startups that was acquired. I still work with them and I still help them because I love training and teaching Agile and Scrum to early stage companies and startups and founders who are working in the tech space. And so it's great to be able to work with them and hang out with them. Go make sure you check out my tweeters. I got some pictures of my time out there. Oh, also, I this last Friday, I spent some time with a Bessemer portfolio investment, Cypress. So they have just finished raising their Series A, and they need a little bit of help scaling. So who better in Atlanta except me, the startup coach, guys, the startup coach that can help you scale with Agile. So you might have seen pictures of me doing some work down there with them. Who knows? We might even do some more work in the future. But make sure that you check me out. Follow me on AgilePeter. I'm always tweeting about what's going on. Also, make sure that you check out our daily newsletter called The Daily Hunt, always dropping in links of what I'm reading. But let's go into one of my fun and favorite. I just love learning about what's going on in the market. Where's the money going? Where is the money flowing today? Guys, it's Venture Deals for January 20th, 2020. First and foremost, we got EcoVadis, a Paris-based provider of business sustainability ratings, raised $200 million in funding from CVC Growth Partners. Congratulations. SciSense, a New York-based business analytics platform, raised more than $100 million in funding at a valuation of more than $1 billion. Insight Partners led the round. Congratulations. Aver, a Columbus, Ohio-based healthcare platform for bundled payments and value-based healthcare solutions, raised $27 million in Series C funding. Ooh, not bad. Investors include Cox Enterprises. Ooh, they're out of our backyard here, guys. Back here in Atlanta. Just Spices, a Germany-based spiced mix brand, raised $14.4 million in a Series B funding. Five Seasons Ventures and Coefficient Capital co-led the round. Lily AI, a Mountain View, California-based provider of software to help retailers optimize for customer preferences, raised $12.5 million in Series A funding. Canaan led the round. .LA, a Los Angeles-based news and events company dedicated to covering LA's startup and tech ecosystem, raised $4 million in seed funding. Investors include 3L Act 1. I'm going to click on .LA. And the reason I'm going to click on .LA, guys, and this is why I love doing this, is because they're doing something similar to what I'm doing. But their landing page stinks because it's only a landing page. A new digital newsroom covering LA startup and tech community. Well, is LA growing in tech? You guys know the answer to that. Virtua Health, a San Francisco-based operator of an online specialty medical clinic focused on treatment of type 2 diabetes, raised $93 million in Series C funding. Congratulations. Caffeinated Capital led the round. Cardiologs, a Paris-based company focused on artificial intelligent cardiology diagnostics, raised $15 million in Series A funding. Alvin led the round. Not bad. Jasper Therapeutics, a Menlo Park, California-based biotechnology company focused on hematopoietic. Cell transplant therapies, raised $14.1 million in funding. Roche Ventures funds led the round. Columbia Capital, Greenspring Associates, and DHL acquired RiskPulse, an Austin, Texas-based company that offers online weather information combined with Resilience 360. Not bad. Industrial Opportunity Partners acquired Midwest Recycled and Coated Containerboard Mill, a combined locks, Wisconsin-based manufacturer and distributor of various grades of paper. Not bad. Texas Next Capital made an investment in Capital Precast, a San Marcos, Texas-based manufacturer of precast concrete underground utility products. Financial terms weren't disclosed. Thermal Solutions Manufacturing, a portfolio company of Altus Capital Partners, acquired Alpha Laval Champ to rebrand as TSM Champ, a specialty provider of tubular heat exchange. Tubular heat exchange what? What does it say here? Exchangers to the marine and industrial markets. I'll be honest with you guys, I have no idea. I have no idea what that's all about. No idea. Let's go on to our last one, guys. Marlin Equity Partners acquired Blue Mesa, a New York-based provider of mobile-first diabetes prevention program technology platform. Financial terms weren't disclosed. You know, every time I go through these, guys, there's so many biotech companies and pharmacy tech and just healthcare, let's just put it that way. Healthcare companies with so much money going into it. If you're in the healthcare world, I tell you, it's never been this is the best time to be getting money. I'm telling you, it's the best best time to be getting money from venture capital. These are your deals, your venture deals for January 20th, 2020, guys. It's a Monday, and I'm glad you guys are here.
Did you know that there's even more value than just audio or video? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at VC Hunting, and make sure to sign up for the VC Hunting newsletter, where you'll be able to get weekly news on venture capital, startups, founder stories, and the occasional wisdom extracted from Peter's brain. Go to vchunting.com to sign up. And now, back to the episode.
Welcome back to Venture Daily. This is the final word with me. However, instead of a final word, I want to read this article by Debbie Allen from Entrepreneur. It's something that I was reading on my plane ride back from Tucson, and I just loved it. It's relatively short, but it's a great reminder, especially for all those out there that are founders, operators, the entrepreneur-curious, and those that want to create something, those that want to be something. But there's even more than that. As I've proposed many times in many of these podcasts and shows, personal branding is something that you should be really, really focused on in 2020 and beyond. The centralized systems of LinkedIn, Facebook, Angel, whatever, wherever you have your online resume or whatever is housing the information about your historical record of work, those systems are not going to be as valuable, in my opinion, than managing your resume, managing your brand. Let's put it that way. Managing your brand is not going to be as important. You need to manage your brand. You need to manage your portfolio. And part of that is becoming and being a lifelong learner. I have this written down on a sticky note right here. Self-educators are the ones that are going to take over the world. I'm a self-educated individual. That's the best way to continue to grow. And when I was talking with one of my colleagues the other day about this idea, about how most people in the corporate setting are so tired after a long day's worth of work that they don't have time to invest in themselves, because they certainly, in many cases, don't have time within the corporate setting to invest in themselves. And so because of this work dynamic and all the effort expended during the day, that we forego self-educating ourselves after work, growing our brand, growing who we are, learning new things, expanding our mind. These are going to be huge differentiators in the future, especially when it comes to employment. Are they going to hire the guy that can do the work just like you can? Or are they going to hire the guy that can do the work just like you can, who also has a YouTube channel, who also has a growing Instagram or Twitter account, or has a TikTok account? It might seem weird and it might seem stupid for me to say something like this, but I'm going to give you the real. There's a reason why, and it is what it is. There's a reason why I have a better chance, much better chance, when it comes to early tech startups, when it comes to early technology startups, to be hired as a consultant and coach to help them grow, because two things. I have, number one, founder experience, which many consultants and coaches don't have. But number two, I'm online. I'm easily recognizable. People have seen me. They know my character. They know who I am. They know how I communicate. And if they see me online and they don't like me, then that's easy. They can immediately filter me out. But it's a huge differentiator when they're looking for that one extra thing. What is this individual doing? Why is this one individual different from all the other people that I could hire for this job? The weird thing is in many cases, I've been hired as a contractor, hired as a coach, hired as a consultant because I have these extra social systems that support what I'm doing. So think about it. Think about it. Is it worth spending a little bit of time to become a lifelong learner and to grow yourself so you have even more opportunities in the future? That's what I want you guys to think about as we go through this article. If you were to survey highly successful people, you discover that they share a philosophy of being lifelong learners. They continue to learn and grow. Unsuccessful people think, I already know enough to get by. Well, making a commitment to lifelong learning isn't easy. Most people have a negative view of continuing education, but this works to your advantage. What others can't commit to is your opportunity. Every day you commit to learning. Growing and developing yourself adds value to who you are and what you have to offer. As you increase your value, you also gain the rewards and compensation of knowledge, skills, and income. The fact is, becoming a lifelong learner is a must if you want to achieve and maintain success in our ever-changing world. I couldn't have said this better. That's exactly what I was just talking about. To be successful, lifelong learner, make a commitment early to expand your horizons by making room for new topics of inspiration in your life. Easy ways to start moving towards success are by reading empowering books and finding inspiring people to learn from on a daily basis. And if I'm frank, one of the reasons why I do this every day and push content every day is because I'm hoping that people will find me inspiring and they'll want to learn from me on a daily basis. I know it sounds weird, and maybe some of you guys just merely see me as entertainment, and that's okay, but I really do hope that you'll stay. You'll stay with. Now, I don't always read articles. I don't always talk about stuff that is fully applicable to your life. I understand, right? My focus is entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, and the startup life, and the entre-pro-curious. Those are interested in entrepreneurship. That's my market. That's who I love to talk to. Those are the individuals who I like to help and work with. And so you might not be in that, but I hope that you can learn something, and I hope that you'll stay. Expanding your knowledge comes down to driving deeper into your areas of expertise. Commit to learning things that are relevant in your industry and business, and commit to sharpening timelessness, applicable skills that will help you move forward every day. Learning at this level puts you in a positive state of mind and inspires you to raise your standards and increase your value as an expert. As you continue to learn, you'll also learn more about yourself and create a greater quality of life, increasing earning power, more opportunities, and amazing experiences. When you commit to lifelong learning, you're creating a need to constantly improve yourself so you can gain a competitive edge in business. Your ultimate goal should be to live a life where you see no boundaries, because with your extended knowledge, you have the options to create anything you desire. Man, do you understand why I love this article? Because this article is speaking to me. Maybe it was just a validation of what I'm already doing, and it made me feel good that I'm I'm spending all this time educating myself and growing myself every day. You see, one of the great tips, here's a tip for you guys out there if you're still listening and you're still with me. A tip is simply this. If you want to get into an industry, one of the best ways to get into that industry, start talking about it. Even if you don't know anything, trust me, people in that industry will correct you and they'll come to you. But maybe, just maybe, they'll stay and help you learn. Ooh, that sounds like a pretty good deal, doesn't it? I like that. Do you think people have come to me and DM me and hit me up and say, I completely disagree with you? Good. Then we end up with great conversations and I learn something. Sounds good to me. So a lifelong learner mindset, please. Everyone should have this, I hope. If you're out there and you're listening to this, I hope you do. I hope you have a lifelong learning mindset. To commit to being a lifelong learner, you must cultivate the right mindset. A lifelong learning mindset requires curiosity of the world. A curious mind wants to know more. It longs for new challenges, ideas, and experiences, and isn't satisfied with the status quo. When you have this mindset, you want to grow, learn, and develop beyond imagination. You want to become a well-rounded, better version of yourself. The lifelong learner mindset is always open to new possibilities, and you can come to understand that the only way to reach your ultimate success potential is to be open to anything that comes your way and be willing to explore everything. This mindset also allows you to approach life from a place of gratitude. Thank you, Jesus. This is a big deal. Place of gratitude, where nothing is taken for granted. Every bit of knowledge you've learned is appreciated and respected because you understand that over time it helped you transform your perspective in life. Just a note on this, guys. I find, and remember, I can always be wrong in pretty much everything I say, so take it with a heavy grain of salt. But I find that people who are often, the people that I've engaged with, let's put it this way, my limited data set, within my limited data set of people that I have met who have often fallen into depression or something that can closely resemble depression, one thing that I have found, and I'm going to be abundantly clear here, is that they have lost one of two things. Number one, they have lost a purpose in terms of personal growth. They're stagnant. Their work stinks. They know everything. They can go through their entire day blindfolded, and they can do it just perfectly. This will create a sense of unease. It'll create a sense of lacking. It'll create a selfishness, an internal selfishness of hey, I'm not getting what I need. And the more internal you become, the more depressed you can become. The second thing that I found is when people lose the vision of serving others. Now, this idea of serving others is one of the best ways not only to learn, but it's the best ways to find purpose in what you do. When you're ever feeling depressed and when you're feeling insular and saying, oh, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, the world is against me, just think about it. What have you learned recently? Where have you tasked yourself to learn something? When you get your mind to learning something and growing yourself, trust me, you'll become less insular about your issues because you become curious about the world around you. Now, if you're also feeling depressed, consider, are you not serving anyone? Are you not helping anyone? Or are you just thinking about yourself? When you end up thinking just about yourself, that's one of the fastest ways. And I've been there, by the way. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree with me. But I'll tell you, the moments in which I felt depressed is when I'm only thinking about myself. Does that make sense? I'm going to read this again. The mindset also allows you to approach life from a place of gratitude. Cha-ching. Absolutely. Where nothing is taken for granted. This process of lifelong learning isn't just about reading lots of books and gathering information. It's also about taking the information you acquire and putting it into practice. We all have weaknesses in our personal lives that we can improve on, and since our personal life has a tendency to spill out into the rest of our life, including business relationships, it's important to become a lifelong learner in your personal development too. I have had to work through weak areas of my personal life and implement the lessons I've learned along the way. In fact, it never stops, and I continue to work on my personal development and growth to this day. When you want to learn a new skill, do you go off by yourself to figure it out? Or do you find someone to show you how you can learn faster? Shared thinking returns greater value than solo thinking because you learn from others. It's much easier trying to work on things out on your own. It's much easier than trying to work out things on your own, and it yields a higher return for your investment of time. This is actually one of the things that I did out in Tucson, meeting up with all my old colleagues from one of my previous startups who are all experts in Agile and Scrum and training and coaching and enterprise agility. It's great because my mind is expanded. I learn stuff and I reconnect with people who in many cases are ridiculously smarter than myself. And so I only win there. So surrounding yourself, some of you guys remember from one of my newsletters, my daily newsletters, about surrounding yourself with your own mastermind group of people who are smarter than you, that can grow you, help you continue to move forward and level up in life. Big deal. Go back to my archive if you want to read that. The compounding action of shared thinking and successful people moves your knowledge forward faster and easier. I've discovered that the more I respect the wisdom of others, the more I listen and learn. For example, when I'm being mentored by someone, I allow that person to do most of the talking so I can learn from them. When I'm mentoring a client, on the other hand, I ask them a few questions and expect to do most of the talking so that the client can learn from me. In shared business relations, it's more of a give and take conversation between equals. Even beyond the immediate need to solve a particular problem, listening to how others approach business or their own personal lives can flip a switch in your thinking, leading to a breakdown or a new insight. When you're excited to learn more, you do more, and work becomes more like play. Let's sit on this. When you're excited to learn more, you end up doing more, and your work becomes more like play. I couldn't agree with this more. The more that I'm curious about that which I don't know, the more I want to learn about that. And the more, for me as a founder, engineer, builder, it makes me want to build stuff to help other people in that as well. It makes me want to build stuff to help my knowledge. And everybody wins there. My hands are being put to work. I'm learning more. I'm feeling good about the progression of knowledge that I'm gaining. And if I'm effective, I eventually can use that knowledge to help other people, or that system to help other people. Everybody wins, and I don't feel like a selfish bastard all by myself. Even beyond the immediate need to solve a problem, listening to others how to approach business, right? You're excited to learn more, do more, and your work becomes more like play. Knowledge allows you to master success again and again, both personally and professionally. And when you develop the skills and tools to continually win in business, that's what makes success easy. Ooh, that's kind of a misnomer. Is success easy? Success isn't easy. Actually, well, let me put it this way. Is success easy? The answer is yes. It just requires you to work a little bit more every day on your personal growth. Be curious, my friends. Go out there and see the world. Engage with the world. Learn more. You'll feel more fulfilled. You won't get into depression states. And you'll find that there are people out there that you might, just might, you should have connected with earlier, because they'll help you level up in life, either just life or professionally. Over the next week, guys, you're going to see a lot of interviews from me. So if you've lasted this long, thank you for being here. But if you lasted this long, in the next couple of days, you're going to see interviews from Frederick Gross. You're going to see an interview I've done with VC Hunted with Tim and Heidi. Tim and Heidi. Heidi Roizen. So enjoy those for the next couple of days because I'm going to be up in Minnesota this week helping another client, technology client, train them in Agile and Scrum so that they can be more effective. And so instead of Venture Daily the next 3 days, you're going to be getting interviews the next 3 days. So I hope you enjoy those. Guys, thanks so much. I love being a part of your day. Subscribe, smash the like button, reply, comment, let me know how you're doing. And I'll see you guys on Friday.